That's Slick Rick the Bucher. This is Eagles' all-time rushing leader, LeSean Shady McCoy. We won't take it easy. It's a phenomenal show. The storyline of Aaron Rodgers in New York. All eyes will be on him, LeSean McCoy. But here's the question. Is it playoff or bust for Aaron Rodgers and the Jets?
I'm going to say yes. I mean, you don't do all that, right? All that chaos you had to go through to get Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay to New York. And now that's happened, we need some results. And I think that if you look at all the other teams, right, that grab quarterbacks to win championships or even have the chance to contend, the Rams, right? Good defense, solid playmakers. All we need is a quarterback. They go out there and they get Matthew Stafford. Right? The Bucks had a lot of talent. I mean, believe it or not, they had a lot of talent over there. All we need is a quarterback. Got a good defense, got wide receivers, got a Hall of Fame wide receivers. They go get Tom Brady, they get a championship. So it's the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. Now, we're not saying go out there and win a championship the first year. That's hard to do. But just at least have a chance to make the playoffs and give yourself a chance to win a Super Bowl. So I got to say it's either Super Bowl or it's a bust.
Yeah, playoffs or bust, Shady. Playoffs or bust. Because, Slick, where do you stand on all of this? Aaron Rodgers is one of the biggest names in all of sports. You have covered not just football, but you've also covered basketball. You know sports. You're one of the most well-versed people when it comes to sports. You know expectations. Playoffs or bust for Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, no question. For Aaron Rodgers, I'm glad the way you phrased it, because it's not just for the New York Jets, it's for Aaron Rodgers. Let's not forget how he left Green Bay. Let's not forget that there was some divisiveness there as he went out the door, and that he didn't make the playoffs last year. Now, he hasn't, to my knowledge, he has not missed the playoffs 2 years in a row, other than when he was injured and Hundley came in. This has never happened before. So if there's a time for him to prove it's not on me, it was on Green Bay and how they handled things, this is the time to do it.
You don't get a second chance at a first impression. I love that quote, 2-5. You don't get a second chance at a first impression, or a first impression is a lasting impression. When Aaron Rodgers shows up in New York, everybody's expecting him to hit the ground running. What I love about working with you, Shady, you've played with greats, you yourself are great. Tom Brady showed up into the building, and y'all hit the ground running first year. Obviously, y'all had some struggles, started off 7-5, but then you won your next 8 games, and you won a Super Bowl. If Tom Brady would have showed up in Tampa and struggled, would you, along with the rest of your teammates, been like, uh-oh? Like, would some doubt have crept into your mind?
I think so, because you get a player of that magnitude, you get a player with that much height, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, it's like, whoa, it's a big deal. Not only are the players excited, the fans are excited. The local gas station guy, he's excited. Everybody's excited when a guy like that comes to your town, to your team. So, yeah, I definitely would agree with you, because, like, even with the team that the Bucs had and the team now that the Jets have, the Jets, they're a top 5 defense for a reason. They were battling in the AFC East division because of that defense. So all we had to do was go out there and get a quarterback, right? Another thing is I was thinking about is when you involve in, like, pressure, right, and hype, it has to do with the money. Aaron Rodgers to come over there from Green Bay to the Jets was a big contract, right? He didn't get cut, and we just picked him, or they picked him up. They traded for him. So we're going to take that whole $50 million a year contract. We're going to take that on because we know how good you are. We know what you're bringing. So we'll take that money, that big contract, because we know that you're going to bring us to the playoffs and potentially a championship.
I would argue that the stakes are even higher than they were when...
Oh, they high.
Well, and you know what? In part, because of you, Mr. McCoy. Like, I feel like you have a piece in this, because all I have heard for the last 4 or 5 months is the Jets were just a quarterback away. Jets were just a quarterback away. And just imagine if the Jets had just had a serviceable quarterback, what they would have done. Now they have more than a serviceable quarterback.
That's a good point. That's a good point, yeah.
But I also believe that the stakes, you could argue the stakes are higher. We're setting the bar lower, but the stakes are higher than they were for Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay. And it's because just 2 years ago, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers as an MVP. Like,
good point.
We're not talking about a guy who we've seen gradually decline, and we're like, does he have enough left to get it done? We're thinking, oh, no, last year was just a blip on the radar. He's not anywhere close to done. And so if for whatever reason he doesn't, and I agree with you, like that first impression thing, how are the New York Jets? The New York Jets have heard about the aura and the legacy of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's real.
He comes in there and doesn't get it done. For the same reason that it elevated Tom Brady by going to Tampa Bay and winning a Super Bowl, I think there would be. I think it would put a dent in the image of Aaron Rodgers.
Shady, very quickly, because I was drafted to the Cleveland Browns in 2012, losing culture, losing organization. In 2012, they hadn't seen the playoffs in 10 years since 2002, if I am not mistaken. It is hard for a player to lift up a culture. We have seen quarterbacks time and time again go to Cleveland, and they could not do it. A culture is stronger, usually, than a player. You were a superstar running back when you went to the Buffalo Bills. You were 1 year removed from leading the entire National Football League in rushing. I will say again, he was 1 year removed from leading the entire National Football League, everybody, in rushing. But Buffalo didn't know what it was like to be good.
Yeah.
We're not giving enough credit to how bad the Jets are. How hard is it going to be for Aaron Rodgers to uplift a losing culture? You've been there. You've had to do that.
So I think it's a reflection of habits. When they see a superstar player that has done so much like Aaron Rodgers, and he shows the habits of winning habits, right? When we win games, how we act compared to when we lose games, how it makes everybody accountable. And I'll talk about with Tom Brady, having all the players that played there before he got there. And I remember asking some guys, what's the difference? Because you had the same talent. Now, obviously, one of them was Winston wasn't throwing picks. You know, he started for 30 at the 30 touchdowns and 30 picks. But he said, the way that Tom Brady approaches the game and practice, the way he's in meetings, right? You feel that on defense. The way he's in the locker room, the way he talks to everybody, the way he makes you believe, the way he prepares. That stuff rubs off, right? And now it has the whole culture on it. And I'll give you a smaller example. Sean McDermott, right? When we were there with him in Buffalo, when I got there, it was a losing culture. I couldn't believe it. I come from Andy Reid, way different. Coming there, like, wow, these guys don't know how to win. And Sean McDermott, I had in Philadelphia with Andy Reid, right? And he went to the Panthers. When he came to us in Buffalo, he changed the whole culture of now, how do we practice? How do we win? How do we stay healthy? All them things matter. So now, when we had that longest drought of not making the playoffs, we made the playoffs with Sean McDermott because everybody believed. And you could change the culture with players and coaching.
That's very well said. Well, in order for the Jets to make it to the playoffs, they're probably going to have to get through the Miami Dolphins.
Yes, they will.
Share a division with them. Tua Tagovailoa, he is healthy, and that is what everybody is saying. Jalen Ramsey has showed up on the scene. They got a new defensive coordinator. But get this, Tua definitely thinks they're contenders, adding, quote, "It can get very scary, pretty dangerous," close quote. I have gone on record, and I will double down in saying that the Dolphins are the scariest team in the National Football League. They are the most dangerous team in the National Football League. That is not to be confused with being the best team in the National Football League. When I think about danger, I think of, at your best, how good can you be? I think about, in track and field, the phenom Sha'Carri Richardson. I believe she is the most dangerous sprinter because at her best, she can be really good. Might not be the best, but you can be dangerous because now I'm talking about at your climactic peak, just how good are you? If you have Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. In the backfield, you have Raheem Mostert, Devin Achane, third-round pick out of Texas A&M, also a former track standout, like Shady just said, speedster. Defensively, you got Christian Wilkins, a top defensive tackle. You got Bradley Chubb on the outside. In the back end, you got Javon Holland. Haven't even talked about the other outside backer. Then at cornerback, you have Xavier Howard, and you have Jalen Ramsey. But most of all, you got a defensive coordinator in Vic Fangio who's commanded 5 top 5 defenses over the last 10-plus years in his career. I think, Shady, they are the most dangerous. It might be a little hyperbolic. Maybe I'm a little out there. Where do you stand?
I can't say the most dangerous, right? Because I think the Philadelphia Eagles are out there. I think the Chiefs are out there, the Bengals. But I think full potential, I mean, I can believe that the Dolphins are one of the most scariest teams in the league. Because one is like, they have an answer for everything. They have weapons on both sides of the ball, right? Top elite talent. And they have top elite coaching on both sides with defense and offense. Only thing is that why I can't give them the most scariest team in football, the quarterback. I think Tua's a really good quarterback, but he's always hurt, right? And then we're talking about injuries with your head. And if you can't fall on the ground and not bang your head, how can I call you the dangerous? So I think they are dangerous, but the injuries have a big impact. Yeah, they worry me a little bit.
Thank you for the baton, because you led me right into mine, which is that, no, they can't be the most dangerous. And dangerous is interesting, because I immediately go, well, no, wait a minute. Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, how can you say they're not the most dangerous, right? Well, they're the odds-on favorite to get back to the Super Bowl and win it. But for me, it's the 49ers are the most dangerous because I'm looking at a team that you're not really thinking about. Like, when I think of danger, I think of that thing out there I can't quite see, but it's got me flinching a little bit, right?
Oh, hey, oh.
And I'm with you. I put the Miami Dolphins in that category, but when I look at the 49ers and what they have and the fact that we constantly talk about the Eagles first and foremost in the NFC, and I'm thinking, you got a number one defense and you just added Javon Hargrave to it, right? The one question we have is the same question we have with the Miami Dolphins, but let's say that we answer it to the positive for both of them. Tua is going to be healthy, and Brock Purdy is going to be what we last saw him be before he got injured. Man, with Christian McCaffrey, who we haven't seen a full season with, Deebo Samuel coming back and saying he's going to be better, like, go down the line in terms of all that they have. If Brock Purdy really is the Brock Purdy that some people think he is, the 49ers, man, are going to be scary on both sides of the ball.
That is a phenomenal point.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.